Welcome back to part 2 of my end of the season container review. If you did not see part 1, I will leave the link to that video in the description below. The first video in totality was just way too long, and I don't think anybody needed to sit through that, so I went ahead and I split it into 2 different videos. So this is the second one. Away we go. Okay, so these I am pretty proud of. This is a spiral Arbor vitae, and I bought matching containers here. I think this is a 20 by 20. No, sorry, 16 by 20 container, one of the self-watering. Looked for them all season, finally found them at a great price online, and I think I ordered a total of 5 of them. 3 of them aren't planted yet. So this is the Arbor, and then I have the 2 pots side by side with the same spiral design and the same size. They were both damaged goods and both on clearance. So I was just so stinking happy with myself. And I love them right now, but I am so excited for next spring and to really color up this area. There's another pot next to this, which is one of my whiskey barrels, and I struggled all season. I'm just waiting for the season to end so I can take these whiskey barrels out and repurpose them somewhere else. You know, my beloved hole digger disagrees with me and he thinks I should leave him here, but I kind of think that's mostly because it will take his muscle to do it and he doesn't want to do it. This is more lobularia, and this is a brighter, this is purple, brighter purple. I guess they were both purple, but the others were light, and this is, I don't know what you would call that, magenta. A magenta look. It didn't create the carpet like I thought it would. There again, that's my watering issue. I had some other plants in there that were swallowed by this Coleus. This is one I will not be overwintering. This is from the Rainbow Collection. This was also grown from seed, and I have trimmed this down vigorously 4-5 times, and it just won't stop. And this is in front of the house, facing east, so it gets morning sun and a little bit of afternoon, and that it is shaded by the Henry Eiler's Rudbeckia, which I'm just gonna show this off. This is tied because it was falling over here, it was falling over there, it was falling down here, so I wrangled it one day and got it in a loop. So next year I will have to stake that. But back to containers. So rainbow mix Coleus, not on my list. Actually, it's on my list of things not to buy. The other whiskey barrel is over there, and it's such an embarrassment that this is as close as we're gonna get to it. The only thing that really survived is another version of the rainbow Coleus, which I'm not impressed with. And the grass, purple fountain grass, always does well. But the dying of this elderberry over here just sort of had me so frustrated with this area that both of those things got ignored. I will come back to it. I will get over myself and I will take care of that area. I just need some time. Over a lot of my failures, and finally we get to come around the house and we get to see some of my successes. This is the front of the house, so I have the porch here that offers some shade, and it's facing east, so it does get morning sun and then bright shade for the rest of the day. This is a recovering indoor plant that I thought needed more sun, but it's looking worse by the day, so we'll just ignore that one right there. This is a house plant that one of my clients gave me. She's moving and couldn't take it with her. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to take care of it, but I had a choice among a few things, and I chose this one because I have nothing like it, and I just love the creamy edges. And it's a sort of waxy, sedum-like feeling of leaves. And it is pretty happy here. I even got a terracotta pot to go with it. So she was so sweet to give that to me. So these containers I am so happy with. The 2 here that mirror each other. And I have some repeat flowers here. The Priscilla, like I have in the back. Oh, so pretty. Love that double flower. I have the Lanai Verbena. And then I have this one, which I'll put on the screen. And look at the 2 colors. This is the same plant. See how it's the dark purple and then the light purple? So very pretty. I have this vine in here, which you can barely see. It makes, you know, it pops up every now and then. This is an annual, well, actually no, it must not be an annual. It wouldn't survive in this pot, but what it does is it grows down the side and then it hits the dirt here. This is a hedge of boxwood, but it hits the dirt down here like this. Can I focus? There we go. There we go, focus. It hits the dirt and then roots in. So I let that go. And then in the spring, I dig that back up and I put it in the pot. And then it starts the process all over again. And then this spider plant is from one of my indoor spider plant babies. See, like this one right here has some babies starting too. I don't know if it can focus. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So that is a very quick working cycle there, those spider plants. I actually have too many of them. And I love that this is what people see when they come in to my front door. You know, I make things pretty for the Amazon delivery guys and gals. Okay. I'm not going to really count these as container plants. Maybe I would, they are in containers. I didn't plant them, I bought them like this. My plan is to put them in something a bit more substantial. I'll have to bring them inside and I will put the name of them on the screen because I think I have it, but I'm not sure, so I'm just not going to say it. I am very happy with these and I hope and pray that they will last the winter with me. And next to these on the porch, there's one pot over here and two pots. So it looks mostly like this is two plants, which is a sweet potato vine or an ipomea. And this is different from the one I had in the back because that had more ridges, more cuts in the leaf, while these are more heart-shaped leaves. And see how they start off kind of brown and green there and then they go deeper purple. I told you guys that I love my deep burgundy purples. And then this is Playing the Blues Salvia, which is an annual. And it's leaning forward, I think because of the shade, it loves its full sun, but it has done so well here. And the bees have loved it. And I'm just happy with those leaves as well. Now in here, I do have a few Coleus. This is from the Rainbow Blend. Wasn't terribly impressed with that. And then I also have some caladiums hiding. Love those, found them on discount. And that is so far one of my favorite caladiums. Just the green on green and the personality of all of that veining. I just love it. And then that one red stripe. I don't know if that one red stripe there is healthy or not. Might have to look that up. But I will hopefully find a way to successfully overwinter those bulbs. And I think there is also a hosta in here. And that hosta was an orphan. It was a piece that fell off a hosta that I dug up and gave away. And I think I had it in my hands. I needed to put it down somewhere, so I just put it in this pot. And then I planted everything else around it, and it just stayed there. So I have 3 of these pots, and they mirror each other, or I would say they're all the same. In this pot, I said they're all the same, but they're really not because they have different caladiums in here. And I don't know the variety of this. It's somewhere in there, but the bees are flying and they're happy, so I'm just not going to disturb them. But this sweet potato vine, this ipomea, I had no idea it was going to be so happy. So that's what I see when I look down my porch. I have 2 of these. This was a terracotta pot that I painted black this year, and it sits on this brick pillar that we made. And I should have closed my garage door, but this one I have already taken some things out of it. I had petunias and bacopa in there, and I just couldn't keep watering them enough. I think the pot sucked in the water. We are facing north, so they don't get more sun than the west side, but anyway, I think they were just too needy for me and I couldn't keep up. Now the spider plant in here, all of these came from indoor plant, and goodness, I could get a lot of babies out of this one. But what to do with all of them? So, oh goodness, you can see how dry it is right now. And we just watered this the other day. I did also have some cannas in here, which have been eaten alive. I mean, just not happy plants. See all the holes? Thank you for lifting your leaves like that and showing us all the damage. So I didn't make good choices for this one. And I truly believe that if I'm going to continue doing these pots in these places, which kind of built the pillar for them, so I think I have to, I need to put them on I need to put them on a drip system. I have a very wide driveway, so the two pots on either end, like the one I just showed you in this one, and then this middle pot, which I think I am considering replacing. It is an antique old black urn, and it's either dry or soggy. I cannot find a medium. And same thing, I took out all of the petunias in here, and then I have this bright red flowering canna. Now, I don't like the flower color in these cannas, but I love the leaf color. But I plant purples and pinks and just don't go with the reds. So next year, since this is the middle and you have a light here, I'm thinking of maybe a mandevilla. So this one behind me, it's one of my successes. So far I have 4 successes out of how many pots. So I just, now that I'm doing this review, I don't think I had a very good container here. But this is a cauldron, a metal cauldron on the side of my driveway facing north. And last summer, I put in this variegated iris here. It's never bloomed for me, but I just love the strappy leaves and the color. And then this year I grabbed some lavender from Lowe's because I've never ever had good luck with lavender. It's never survived for me, but this has done great. But it is surrounded by chocolate chipajuga, which blooms beautiful purple or blue flowers in the spring, and then the rest of the year it's that dark green colorful carpet, and I love that. So I've been happy with this pot. I've sheared this down twice and it's reflushed, so this lavender is in a good spot. This is a beast. I have a difficult relationship with this pot because maybe every 3 years do I get something wonderful out of it, and every year in between that cycle is just something I just scratch my head. And some part of the season I love it, and then another part of the season I don't. So in here I have more of the Prince Tut, and it is such a tight clump that you can barely see. You can just barely see it. And it's one plant. I have petunias. These aren't a variety petunias. It's one of those large packs that you get for a very cheap price. I will not buy those again. I'm not happy with them. This pot I'm sort of mad at this pot. Another one of my spider babies. It's doing fine. And then this Coleus. I'll put the name of it on the screen. But this, 3 plants, it has taken over. I mean, completely taken over. It's huge. I mean, this is hip high. This Coleus is hip high. Really pretty colors. Well, I don't know, I say that. This isn't my favorite. It has done really well. This does get a lot of sun over here. It gets all day sun. And I've been so happy that this Coleus survives in this light. And it does have some neat characteristics. Maybe if I paired it with something that helped show it off, I would like it better. But as it is, it's not my favorite. So this container basket has flowers in it that in other places has done marvelously well. And I was so excited for this combination to be in this basket because I was picturing this long octopus type of plant just to come down and over the sides and just sway in the breeze. But all season, this is all it has done. Proven Winners Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. And then I have a Bordeaux, Proven Winners Supertunia Bordeaux, and then more of the Priscilla, which This might be one of my favorites this year. I have really enjoyed that flower. However, not so much in this one. This year I did have a regiment of watering very intently, at least on my patio plants because they're the closest to the hose. But I did feed once a week with a liquid fertilizer all of my containers for the hot part of the summer. So I'm surprised that that watering and that feeding didn't help this grow more. I was wanting that octopus shape. So I think next year, maybe put my Silver Falls dichondria to hang down and try different varieties of petunias in the basket. I won't give up on this pot because it's a great placement. It's what we see as we sit on the porch here and husband watches baseball and I look out at my garden. So I have one more area and I have saved this for last, and this is definitely on the success side. I had no idea that these flowers, well, they're not really flowers, foliage plants would get the size that they did. I call this my Coleus Wall. We've made a full circle around the house, so we're back on the patio and we're facing west. So all of these get the brutal afternoon sun. I'm in zone 5, I'm in central Illinois, so we have temperatures in the hundreds and high humidity. And we have wind and rain, so they get all of the elements. And this system behind me here, I think there's a storm coming in. This system behind me is the only area that I had on a drip system. My wonderful hole digger bought me a Proven Winners watering system for Mother's Day, and as a trial, this is how I'm learning how to use it. Here is my hose bib right next to this Coleus Wall arrangement, and you can see I have a, what would you call that, 4 nozzle adapter. This one right here to this bed, I have a soaker hose that I can just bring over and connect to that. This is our hose right here. This water line here goes to some misters that we have hanging over the patio because July and August are just so hot. We need that extra water to help cool down the patio. And then here's the timer and then the Proven Winner system starts here and goes under here and comes into the pots. So this is what we have. Over here, I do have Petunia Super Vista. They are so vibrant that it's hard to get a picture of them because the cameras they just shine too bright. They're so pretty, and they do make that beautiful carpet when you can't see the pot, and that is my favorite. I have, again, some of the rainbow mixed coleus. These were grown from seed, and I trim these back over and over and over again just to keep them maintained. A canna back there that somebody gave me, and then in here, there's a small little pine tree. Just a cute little pine tree, and I had no idea it was going to be engulfed by coleus, but that will overwinter in that pot and everything else will come out. Now there's probably 14 containers in here, which looks like a junkyard once all of these plants come out. And maybe I'll do a video when I take them apart because I want you to see and I want to remember how big these things are. I will point out here, I had lavender under here before all of this got so big, and that did not survive. I generally do not have good luck with lavender, except in the front. That's my first success. So I should have just removed those pots, but I didn't. I have some petunias in here, which are pretty colored, but these were the variety, the nameless variety in the large cell packs on sale at the box store. There again, I'm not gonna go back to these. They're so sticky to touch, and they're so much more finicky than the Proven Winner Super Petunias, so I'm just gonna stick to those. We have these petunias that are crawling out of their pot and just reaching for the sun. See, they're dried and leggy here, and then they start to bush up here. So this is a Coleus here, ordered by mail, came in as a little plug, and I am so happy with this. I'll put the name on the screen because I don't remember. This is a wasabi Coleus, and this is offered, just there's so many dark colors in here. This has offered this bright cherry spot, and these leaves are so fuzzy. They're really, really neat. This is probably the biggest one out of everything. And all of these, they're getting full sun, so they are pretty happy. They've just started with these holes. They weren't here the other day. Now back here from my kitchen, when I sit in a chair right here, I see the back of these leaves, and every afternoon there are big grasshoppers that sit on the windows. So until the big spiders start making their webs, then I don't see them. This is fishnet stocking Coleus. And see, that's an aged leaf, and then that's a newer leaf. And they just look so neat next to that Coleus. Then here I have campfire Coleus. I've had that, I'd had bonfire Coleus before, or Sedona. I had Sedona Coleus. I loved it. I couldn't find that variety, and but I found this one, and this one is just as great. Now this one here, I don't know what the name of it is. If anybody knows, but I'm telling you, this leaf variety, I think if it gets less sun, that's what it looks like, because that's all the undercarriage plants. On the back of the leaves are this purple, and then they go with this coloring. I'm trying to focus here. See how it's sort of watercolored? This is one of my favorites this year, and it's the one thing I don't have a name for. So this is interesting too. These are two different red Coleus. This one over here is ridiculous, and this one over here is Beale Street, like New Orleans, Beale Street. And I like this one better than this one. This one's sort of muddier, while this one has a vibrance, and it's just like it's plugged in a little bit. And when you put that with the nameless, with the bonfire, and with the wasabi, oh, I just love it. I don't know why I did what I did here in this pot. This is different from everything else. We have some, I think, Angelonia. I knew what this was until I turned the camera on. More canna leaves that have been destroyed, and some nameless petunias that just didn't do well. Here is a transplant of a Proven Winners Supertunia honey. And I had it in another planter that didn't get enough sun, and it was struggling. So I just stuck the tiny little weak branch in here, and it grew into this. Isn't that so pretty? This pot right here is probably the very first pot I placed on this patio 7 years ago when we moved in. Maybe it was 6 years, maybe it wasn't. It was 7 years ago. I placed this pot. We bought the house in April, and this came from my old house on the deck, and this is where it has lived. And I typically, most years, put in this purple fountain grass. Look at it swaying in the wind. Oh, it's living its best life right now. It gets a whole lot of sun, and so it's greener than a lot of the other ones. I have one on the side of the house, and that is more purple, and it gets less sun. But either way, this is my favorite part. I just love this. Now, it sort of drives my husband crazy because it's at the corner of the hot tub there, and all these little pieces end up in the hot tub, and he's the skimmer, so he is constantly skimming those things out. But he loves me, so he endures it. So this was a different combination that I normally do. Again, I do have those nameless petunias here. I think the highlight of this pot right now is this. You see it kind of falling off. Now, it has not been that carpet for a lot of the summer. For most of it, it was kind of more scraggly, but just as of recently, it's finally found its happy spot, or we've just learned how to get along, meaning I'm learning what it needs and giving it to it. So he's growing well. So I will repeat this plant right here. I'll put the name on the screen over here so you can see that. This is another one that I can see from my kitchen. So I get a lot of joy, and I think very, very carefully in what I put in here because it has such a prominent space in the patio. So that took way longer than I thought it would, and if you watched it to the end, thank you so much for sticking with me. I have learned a lot this year from successes and failures, and I'm just grateful that I did have successes. And I am already looking forward to and planning what these spaces will look like next spring. So thanks for watching.